Welcome back to Our World with Black Enterprise. Every moment of every day, headlines are made. Now it's time to bring you the hottest issues going on in our world. Joining me for this discussion are Patricia, social media expert for Black Enterprise, NBA superstar Anfernee Hardaway, and psychiatrist Janet Taylor. A lot of people are talking about President Obama these days. They're saying that he's not doing enough for black people, that he needs a black agenda, he needs a black plan, he needs a black press conference. What do y'all say?
Well, I would say President Obama needs to get reelected, so he has to think about everybody. And if you look at from health reform to what he's done for the stimulus package, he's done a lot for all people, not just black people. I think it's an unfair criticism.
But when people voted for Barack Obama, do you think they assumed he was going to do something special for black people?
I think it's an interesting question. I mean, Mark, you see that folks who are typically in the minority who have benefited in this country, the wealthiest Americans in this country, tend to look alike. Mm-hmm. And there's usually an advocate for them in the administration that definitely finds their interest to be top of priority. And I think in this case, it'd be interesting to see that there is similar attention drawn to folks who are similar to him. I'm not saying it should be exclusive. I'm not saying it should be something that isn't fair or well appropriated. But I think it makes sense that you would focus on the needs of a demographic that you understand and that relate to you and that have voted for you overwhelmingly.
But is that suicide? Like, Anfernee, if Barack Obama came out on TV and had a press conference and said, look, I got a black jobs plan, I got a black housing plan, I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff for black people, what do you think would happen?
I don't think that would be right. I think that he has to look out for everyone. You know, I know black people, when they voted for him, thought that it was going to all be about us, but he has to take care of the entire nation, not just black people only.
If he gets reelected and he has no more pressure about elections anymore, do you think he'll do more for black people then?
I think it's about general topics. It's education, it's healthcare, it's finding jobs, and that, again, he has to focus on it for everyone. And hopefully, as black people, we can't just entertain our fantasy that because he's president, he's going to lift us all up. We have to work hard at lifting ourselves up as well.
I think it'll be a little easier for him, though. Like you said, he won't have to worry about the looming re-election. He'll be able to do things, I think, in a little bit more of a pragmatic, more proactive approach when it comes to our community. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. But do you think, to some extent, maybe we're letting him off the hook? I mean, if a white president were doing the exact same things, do you think black people will respond differently?
Yeah,
I think they would respond differently.
Right. I think so too.
I think they would respond differently. It's just, you know, it's a topic now, and like you said, we just need to get him reelected and then see what happens from there, because right now he's doing what he can do.
Well, I think the administration has not done a good enough job letting people know exactly what he has done for all communities, and I think that is an administrative issue and not just one from the community.
A lot of people say he's only doing policies that help the rich. I mean, that's a critique. I'm not saying it's true, but a lot of people say that his policies continue to help the rich. You know, people like you.
I mean,
I'm just saying, though.
He also has a very defiant Congress at this point with respects to the majority. And so I think a lot of what happens now is dependent upon what Boehner and his folks in the GOP want to happen. And there's an element of compromise there. They say, you know, politics is the art of compromise. I think he's done a hell of a lot of that. It'd be nice to see him do some things that are more appropriate for what he would like to do.
Well, that's the point.
He got health care reform passed, and health care reform increased the people who could qualify under Medicaid. And Medicare included a different age demographic. That's not just for rich people. That helped a lot of people.
It did, but the plan no longer looks like what was initially devised, which I think is interesting. It seems like everything tends to get watered down when it comes to legislation at the end of the day.
Well, that's the concern, right?
Yeah.
That he's compromising too much. Some people say that he's caving on everything, that he's getting so much disrespect, that he's getting abused by the Republicans, and he keeps playing the nice role, and he's not winning, he's just compromising.
Right.
And people are worried about that.
Well, his personality style, I think, is one that doesn't just go in like a bull in a china shop. He is one who's diplomatic, and that's what we elected him for. He thinks through things. And so now when things are really tough for a lot of people, we can't criticize him, but say this is why we elected you, because he's calm and cool, and we can't just jump on his back for it.
Well, another place where people are not compromising is the NBA, right? There's a whole lockout going on. It's been going on for months now. There's much talk that the season won't even happen, that we may go not just to January but to May without any basketball action happening. And one of the complaints that people have is that both sides are asking for too much, that the players are asking for too much, that the owners are asking for too much. What do you all? Let me start with you. You know a little thing or two about the NBA.
Yeah, I think that it's just a situation where, you know, the owners are making a lot of money, you know, off the players. The NBA is making a lot of money, and the players are wanting their just due. They're wanting the same thing, a fair market value. And the teams are able to pay them. So when it gets to this point, I think what happens is both sides are just being a little stubborn. I think there will be a season, but I think that the owners make enough money to pay the players whatever they're paying them.
Now, some people look at your contracts, though, you know, and they see these nine-figure contracts, and they say NBA players make too much to be dribbling the basketball, or to be throwing a football, whatever the case may be. What do you all say about that?
Is it proportional to what the franchise earns in terms of revenue overall for the NBA? If it isn't, then I think that's when we start to question whether or not it makes sense. But I mean, it's private industry. Folks are
the
able to
owners
garner
are
what they
running a
want.
business, and
Right.
I think the average NBA player, I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not 9-figure average. And plus, the average lifespan in the NBA is only like 3 years. So you're talking about guys who need to make as much money as they can and hopefully save it, but they are not as qualified and as talented as Anfernee, so they don't have the longevity. And those are the players I think you need to protect and think about.
And my question always was, how come nobody has these complaints about industries where there's not black people in them? You know what I mean? Like people get mad when NBA players go straight from high school to the league.
Right.
But no one gets mad when a golfer or a tennis player
Hockey.
or hockey or a minor league baseball player goes from high school to the league. Is this just race? Is this good old-fashioned racism? Is it just that people are mad that young black people are making so much money?
I think they're just upset that someone is dribbling a basketball and making that much money. I don't know if it's racist or not, but I think that because we're dribbling a basketball and you're making that much money, it's something that you can do for free. Like we grew up playing for free, and when we finally get to the league, we make millions of dollars, but we feel like we earn it.
Or maybe they're just mad that they can't dribble a basketball as well as you, Anfernee.
That could be true.
And the players give back too. There's a lot of good that happens, but I think for black athletes, we always read about them when they've done something maybe wrong, and so there's not enough media representation that paints the players in a good light. And most of the NBA players, I think, are good, upstanding people, and not people that have a million babies and a million cars. I mean, they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I just gave $1 million to the University of Memphis 3 years ago.
You give $1 million to the University of
Memphis.
That is admirable.
I mean, so thank you. I mean, I just
I'm late on my car payment right now. I just want to let you know. So.
I mean, but that's what we do. We give back.
So he kept talking exactly like I just mentioned my car payment. Right.
That's great.
I got a question. I've been waiting to say this to the end because I wanted to get y'all warmed up, and also because I'm scared. I'm scared what y'all gonna say. On the internet, there's been this trending topic which says you cannot date me if. Right?
Right.
And then people write in the thing that you can't date them with. You can't date me if
Right.
you have a car that's more older than you. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
What's on your list? Now this is gonna be on TV. I don't run. This is gonna be on TV, so somebody gonna see y'all.
Right.
So
Keep
on
it
front.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't date me. This is basic. My sister taught me this. If you're married. So if you've got a wife,
That's a good one.
I'm not available. Also, that includes tan lines. Lesson number 1, ladies. Tan line. He's married. He just took it off. You can't date me if you're married or if you have a questionable tan line on your ring finger.
What if it's complicated though? What if he's
It's
separated?
never that complicated.
He might be
No.
separated for a few
All
years,
right.
or
Yeah.
had a bad night.
Yeah, you can work on that. Get that taken care of and then circle back.
You want to see the paperwork first?
I mean, yes, finalize.
Okay. How about
Can't date
you?
me if you're
You
married.
can't date me if you can't laugh.
Okay.
I love to laugh. So,
See, he picked a safe
If
one.
you're too serious, no, if you're too serious, I can't date you.
Does that happen though? You date somebody, you out, and you telling your jokes, you giving your best material, and they just staring at you stone face.
Kind of, like that. You don't want that at all. I love to laugh.
Now, how do you deal with that? Do you just not call it back again, or do you just let it fade out?
You just let it fade out.
He's a nice guy, man. He's a nice guy. How about you, Janet?
I would say you can't date me if you don't have a good relationship with your mother.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Nice.
I like that one. But what if the person's mother's like absolutely crazy?
Look, mothers are mothers, and even when mothers are crazy, most people try to have a good relationship with their mother. But if you absolutely shut them out or have just no, and obviously there's extenuating
Of course.
circumstances, but I think that tells a
Precious
lot
or something,
about
right?
a person.
you get an exception of like your mom was precious mom or something, get down to the welfare, right? But other than that, good relationship with mom, you got to be able to laugh, and you can't be married.
Right. What about you?
Huh?
You can't.
This is my show, okay?
I'm done.
And I would love to answer that question, but we are out of time. Patricia Casaire, Anfernee, Hardaway, Janet Taylor, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back. Up next, Dionne Warwick hits the stage to educate us about a serious epidemic.